Lucy had always believed that kindness didn't need a reward. It was just something you gave, like a smile to a stranger or water to a thirsty soul. She lived in a small rural village, where the days began with the rooster's cry and ended with the lullaby of crickets. She had no family, no fortune, and no education beyond what little her late mother had taught her before a tragic fire claimed both her parents and their humble hut. After that, Lucy became a quiet presence in the village, the girl with worn sandals and calloused hands who worked tirelessly from dawn till dusk. She swept courtyards, washed pots, fetched water, and sometimes cooked for families who could pay a coin or two. Despite her poverty, Lucy always smiled. Her eyes carried a softness that made even the grumpiest elders soften toward her. One rainy afternoon, everything changed. Lucy had just finished scrubbing a veranda when she heard shouting in the distance. A crowd had gathered near the edge of the forest road, where the narrow path twisted toward the town. Curious, Lucy stepped closer. Through the murmurs and gasps, she saw a body lying limp in the mud, blood trickling from the forehead, clothes soaked from both rain and red. No one dared touch him. "Maybe he's dead," someone muttered. "Maybe he's a robber." But Lucy didn't listen. Something in her heart told her the man needed help. Without a second thought, she rushed forward, dropping her basket. She bent beside the stranger, young, well-dressed despite the torn sleeves, his breathing faint but present. "We can't just leave him here," Lucy cried, but no one moved. So she lifted him. Her tiny frame trembled under the weight, yet step by step, she carried him to a nearby shed she once cleaned. It was empty now. She laid him on a mat, wiped his face with her scarf, and stayed by his side. For 2 whole days, Lucy didn't sleep. She used her saved coins to buy bread and water, even medicine from the old herbal woman near the river. She cleaned his wounds, talked to him softly, and waited. The villagers watched from afar, whispering, "Who was he? Why was Lucy risking everything for a stranger?" On the 3rd day, the man opened his eyes. His name was Felix. He was the only son of Agnes, a wealthy businesswoman from the city, visiting the region for a land survey when robbers attacked him and left him for dead. Felix could hardly believe what had happened. He had been unconscious but vaguely remembered the scent of wildflowers, the softness of a hand cleaning his face, and the calm voice whispering that he would survive. Now, as he sat up and saw Lucy sitting beside him, her eyes red with exhaustion, he was speechless. "You saved me," he said hoarsely. Lucy smiled shyly. Anyone would have. But Felix knew better. The others hadn't helped. Only she had. He offered her money, gold even, a thick envelope his mother had always insisted he carry. Lucy refused. "I didn't do it for money," she said simply. "I just couldn't leave you like that." Then she left, just like that, back to her cleaning jobs, as if nothing had happened. But Felix couldn't forget her. When he returned to the city and told his mother everything, Agnes was shaken. Not just because her son had survived, but because of the humility and courage of a girl she had never met. "We must find her," Agnes insisted. She didn't just save you. She gave me back my only child." So they returned to the village, not in a fancy car with gifts and arrogance, but with quiet respect. When they finally found Lucy near the market, washing vegetables for a vendor, she looked surprised. Felix stepped forward. "I didn't come to repay you," he said. "I came to honor you." Agnes then took Lucy's hands in hers. "You're more noble than most people I've met in high society. Come live with us. Not as a maid, as family." Lucy's heart pounded. She had never dreamed of living in a house with floors that didn't creak or meals that didn't depend on leftover coins. But what moved her most wasn't the offer. It was the look in Felix's eyes. Not pity. Not charity. But admiration. Still, Lucy hesitated. "If I come," she said, "I want to learn. I want to study. I don't want to depend on anyone forever." Agnes nodded. "Then we'll enroll you in school." And they did. The city was like another world. Lucy struggled at first, with English grammar, computers, even social rules she never knew existed. She was teased by some students who thought her accent was strange and her clothes too simple. But she never gave up. Every night, Felix would help her with homework, smiling as she learned how to pronounce complicated words or solved tough math problems. Over time, they grew closer. Felix admired her resilience. Lucy admired his patience. One evening, as they sat under the garden lights after a school event, Felix looked at her and said, "Lucy, I've met many women, but none like you. You saved my life. You taught me humility. Will you marry me?" Lucy looked at the stars. Her hands trembled. "I love you," she whispered. "But not yet. I want to stand beside you as your equal, not someone you rescued." Felix didn't argue. He waited. 2 years later, Lucy graduated. Not just with a certificate, but with honors. She had found her voice, her purpose, and her strength. She gave a speech at her graduation, and even the principal wiped away tears. Afterward, as guests clapped and posed for photos, Felix came forward again. Same question, same sincerity. This time, Lucy smiled and said, "Yes." Their wedding wasn't royal, but it was beautiful. Villagers came. Former classmates came. Even the herbal woman who had once sold Lucy herbs for Felix's wounds was honored as a guest. The girl who had once cleaned homes now walked with grace in a gown, not because she had married wealth, but because she had earned dignity. She and Felix opened a charity school in the village where they first met, for children like Lucy who had lost everything but still dared to dream.